What's going on, everybody? Will Copel here with Will Copel Functional Medicine. I'm located here in Albany, Georgia, inside of the Medicine Man's Corner shop. So today I wanted to hop on and talk about autoimmune diseases, how they manifest, where they come from, what they are. So to understand autoimmune diseases, let's review the immune system first. So basically the immune system has two parts. We've got our innate immune system and our adaptive immune system. So the innate immune system, you can think of this as kind of like the Marines of the immune system. So our immune system is fighting invaders, right? So this innate immune system is the first on call. It's the Marines. So once our body is exposed to a bacteria, a fungi, a parasite, environmental toxins, viruses, this innate immune system is initiated. The cells in the innate immune system are phagocytes, and under the umbrella term of phagocytes are macrophages, mast cells, monocytes, dendritic cells. So these pretty much engulf the invading cell, and through a chemical process inside of that engulfed macrophage, it should take care of the issue. If not, some intermediates are spit out, and then the adaptive immune system is called in. So this adaptive immune system, you can think of this as like the special forces of the immune system. So the adaptive immune system is comprised of the T cells, which come from the thymus gland. This is a gland in our body that grows as we grow, and the more we're exposed to things, the better memory the T cells and the B cells have. The B cells are made in the bone marrow. That's why they are called B cells, and this is where antibodies are created. So that's basically what happens with autoimmune disease. It's an overactivation of that adaptive immune system, and those antibodies are created. So the screening test for autoimmune conditions is called an ANA, an anti-nuclear antibody test. So basically that test is a screening test that shows antibodies to specific tissues and organs in your body. So autoimmune conditions can affect anything from your head to your toes. So Sjogren's is a common autoimmune condition that is accompanied by dryness of the eyes, the mouth. I see a lot of Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune attack against the thyroid gland. We have Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, celiac disease, which are autoimmune attacks on that gut system, which can lead to malabsorption of nutrients, which those are needed for a multitude of reasons. Other autoimmune conditions are lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition, and there are probably about 100 autoimmune conditions. So why are we seeing such a rise in these autoimmune conditions? So it's estimated that about 10% of the United States population, so that's 1 in 10 people, have an autoimmune condition. So why is this? So my last video, I talked about environmental toxins, how around the turn of the 1900s, that's when processed foods really came into play. That's when farmers started using herbicides, pesticides, and these chemicals that were made for various reasons are ingested into our body through our gastrointestinal tract, or we breathe them in, our mucous membranes, they get put on our skin, and because our bodies don't recognize these things, it creates these antibodies, which is part of that adaptive immune system. So basically my approach here is I want to look at every single part of your health history. We want to leave no stone unturned. So make an appointment. I'll send you the intake paperwork, which screens for autoimmune conditions. It asks about your family history. It asks about the symptoms you have been having. When did these start? What medications you're taking? What diagnosis you have had? I get loads of information before you come in, and then we sit down and talk about things. So the Institute for Functional Medicine, which is where I did my training for functional medicine, taught with autoimmune conditions, 3 things must be present. And those 3 things are a genetic predisposition. So most people with autoimmune conditions, they have a family history of autoimmune conditions. some type of trigger, which can be a bacteria, a virus, COVID, fungi, protozoa, and a lot of these environmental toxins. And then the third thing, which is often overlooked in mainstream medicine, is intestinal permeability or leaky gut. So one of the first tests I do on my patients that come to see me here is the KBMO FIT test. So KBMO is a lab out in Boston, and the FIT stands for Food Inflammation Test. So basically the test looks at 132 foods, chemicals, and additives and sees if your immune system is mounting a response to these. The second part of the test, which is super important, is just looking at that gut barrier lining. So it's testing for Candida overgrowth, which is super common with our highly processed foods. Candida tends to feed on sugar. It also looks at that leaky gut markers, which are zonulin and occludin. And then it also is looking at lipopolysaccharide activation, which is part of a bacteria that can seep in through that leaky gut. So if you have leaky gut and this test shows you do, and you have a previous diagnosis of an autoimmune condition, we hone in on the gut. So 70% of your immune system is modulated by that gut. So we cannot disregard the gut. And then we look at the modifiable lifestyle factors. You know, we've got to look at your sleep, your stress, your diet, your exercise, your relationships. So while it's super complex, I want to take a systematic approach with you and get you feeling better. So if you like what you heard, give me a like, give me a comment. I'll link my website below where you can make an appointment. So if you or a loved one is struggling with any autoimmune conditions or symptoms that no one has been able to quite tell you exactly why you're having them, make an appointment with me. I'd love to sit down, meet you, learn everything about you, and then we can formulate a plan customized for you to get you feeling better. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.